Hi, good morning. Am I audible? Okay. We shall just wait for a minute and then we shall get started with speaking module, okay? Once again, good morning, all.
Good morning, ma'am.
Yeah. So before we get started, I would like to know, is anybody here for demo class?
Yeah, hi. I am for demo class.
Right, Saranya. So what about Praveen? Is this your first class? Praveen, please connect to your audio device. Right. Okay, I would like to introduce myself. I'm Chitra Arnachalam from English Prince. Before we get started with speaking module, I would like to give you a brief introduction about IELTS. IELTS, as we all know, it stands for International English Language Testing System, and this is to test your English proficiency. In this, we have two types of exams. One is academic and the other one is general. If you want to pursue higher studies, then we go with academic. And for work and PR purpose, we go with general. On the whole, we have 4 modules: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. All the 4 modules are same for both academic and general, but there is a slight variation in writing task 1. Okay, academic students, they'll be describing a statistical or non-statistical information, whereas general students will be writing a letter. Okay, simple as that. Each and every module is for 9 bands, and it's up to you to go with either paper-based test or computer-based test. Okay, just give me a second. Right. So we shall get started with speaking module. And if you have any doubt, please do unmute yourself, and then you can ask me, or else you can drop your doubt in the chat box also. As we are dealing with speaking module, it would be so good if you're all so interactive. Okay, so make sure that you answer for my questions and participate. Okay, please motivate yourself and participate. That's very important. So let me give some introduction about speaking. Speaking is the fourth module in IELTS. We all know that. But the test can happen either before LRW or after LRW test, right? Actually, when you book for your real exams, you will get the slot for your listening, reading, and writing. The speaking test does not happen on the same day, but it may happen before or after the LRW test, right? So a separate venue and time is given for the speaking interview through mail after you book your slot, right? And speaking test is the same for both IELTS academic and general. So here, what do? Is they'll conduct an interview, a face-to-face interview, okay? Who will be interviewed by an IELTS certified examiner on various topics. So as I said, it will be a face-to-face interactive session, and questions are mostly asked related to your real life situations. Okay. So now what we shall do is we shall get started with the speaking parts. Okay. What are the parts that are there in the speaking interview? First one is personal details. Okay. Personal details. So the questions asked here are mostly related about yourself, about your place, about your hobbies, about your likes, about your dislikes, about your interests. So you will feel so comfortable in answering these questions. Okay, this is a kind of warm-up session. Okay, because you do not want to think much because all the questions are asked about yourself, about you. So definitely you will feel so comfortable and motivated in answering these questions. Okay. And there is no fixed time at all. We cannot predict that only these many questions, many number of questions will be asked. We cannot predict that because it completely depends on the number of questions asked by the examiner. He may ask you 4 questions. He may ask you 10 questions even. So it completely depends on the number of questions asked by the examiner. And here you don't have preparation time at all. Okay. Next, part 2. In part 2, it's a cue card topic. Okay. A topic will be provided to you with certain cue questions. See here, this is your topic. Describe your favorite sport. Describe, okay? Describe your favorite sport. This is a topic. And these 4 are the cue questions. Normally you get 4 cue questions. So which sport it is, when do you play the sport, why you like playing the sport, how do you feel after playing the sport. So if you really observe the cue questions, mostly, they are WH questions. What, when, where, how, why, okay, whom, who. These are the cue questions, okay. Literally, you do not want to answer only to these questions, whereas you have to make use of these cue questions in order to give lengthy response. Simple as that, okay. I'll be teaching you this probably tomorrow. We'll be starting with cue card topic tomorrow. Then here for cue card topic, you have 1 minute preparation time. So only when you deal with part 2, you have preparation time, 1 minute. And it's very important to make use of that 1 minute to the core, okay? And you're supposed to speak for complete 2 minutes. Yes, of course, the examiner may stop you at 1 minute or 1.5 minutes, or even he will ask you to talk for complete 2 minutes. So during your practice sessions, during your learnings, try to speak for complete 2 minutes, because that is also one of the challenging tasks. So this is all about cue card session. Moving on to part 2, discussion round. See, this is the most challenging one. Why? Because I told you part 1 is a kind of warm-up session. Part 1. Part 2 is actually, that is a place where you can showcase your fluency, because there will not be any kind of interruption, right? Only you will be talking. But when you take part 1 and part 3, definitely the examiner will interrupt you by throwing other question. Okay, so please make use of this part 2 time efficiently. That's very important. And part 3, this is discussion round where the examiner will ask you to state your opinion and the reasons, supporting it. And the questions asked here are related to your Q card topic. Say, for instance, let's take this topic itself. So what is a Q card topic given here? Describe your favorite sport. So the questions asked in discussion round will be based on your Q card topic. For example, they may ask you like this: do people in your country prefer indoor games or outdoor games? Okay, so this is something related to sport, something to, games. So this is very important, and mostly they will ask you to state your opinion, okay, in general. And there is no fixed time for this part, as it completely depends on the number of questions asked by the examiner, right? And as I said, for part 1, for part 3 also, he may ask you 2 questions or 4 questions or even 10 questions that we cannot predict. Okay, so these are the 3 parts. You must have clear understanding about the structure of the speaking interview. What are the parts we have? Part 1, part 2, and part 3. Part 1 is personal details, part 2 is Q card, and part 3 is discussion round, right? Now, what are we going to do is, I'm going to teach you how does the test start. See, as I mentioned before, it's a face-to-face conversation, interactive session with an IELTS examiner who will be testing your speaking abilities. So one thing you have to clearly understand, here they are not testing your knowledge. Here they are testing your language. So make sure that you speak very fluently. Okay, focus on your English fluency. That's very important. And as soon as you enter the room, try to greet the examiner and always carry a smile on your face. That's very important. Okay, and the examiner sometimes might introduce himself or herself and may ask for your credentials like passport. And after that, they say, now let's begin, or shall we begin? Okay. And before that, before they say this, they play the recorder. They're on the recorder, okay, to record the discussion. This will be so helpful for you, okay, for re-evaluation and all. And, you have to place your mic perfectly. Why? Because entire thing is recorded, okay? And pronunciation is very important. Then only everything will be recorded perfectly. And how to place your mic? See, some students place their mic between their lips, lower lip and upper lip. You must not do that. You have to place your mic between your lower lip and chin. Okay, so that your voice can be easily recorded and the words will be captured well. And other thing is, as soon as the examiners say, now let's begin or shall we begin, what you're supposed to do is please sit, very comfortably. And you do not want to use a lot of hand gestures in which it must not look so artificial. Be very natural, be very comfortable, sit very comfortably. And you just consider this as a casual conversation that you always have with your friend, because speaking in IELTS is completely informal. Okay, and if you are considering this as an interview, then we will not be able to make it up, because we are going to do this interview nearly for 12 to 22 minutes. So make sure that you consider this as a casual conversation. And as soon as you enter the room, please don't consider that interviewer as an interviewer. Okay, please do consider the examiner as your friend. That's very important. In the beginning, it may sound quite weird for you, but later on, okay, when we practice, you will definitely realize why am I telling this in the beginning itself. Okay. Now we shall see the scoring parameters, which are very important. See, no matter what module you deal with, no matter what type of task you deal with, it's very important to have strong knowledge about the scoring parameters, because you will know where you actually stand. You'll be able to analyze yourself. That's very important. Self analysis, it's very, very important. So these are the scoring parameters, as you can see on the screen: fluency, spontaneity and coherence, pronunciation, grammatical range and accuracy, vocabulary. So let's see one by one. Fluency. Talking about fluency, see, you are supposed to answer in a flow. We must not stammer or we must not fumble a lot. That's very important. Okay. And avoid speaking in one or two sentences. It could be part one or part three. You must not answer to the questions in one or two sentences. That's very important. You have to provide lengthy response until the examiner shoots out the next question you are supposed to answer. Okay, that's very important. And if you get a question like this, do you like cricket or do you like something? We must not just answer, yes, I like, yes, I do. No, you have to come up with a reason why. Okay, that's very important. Even if the question is, do you like so and so? Yes, of course, the answer is yes. But here, what you're supposed to do, you have to provide lengthy response. So you have to come up with a reason. That's very important. Okay. And then spontaneity and coherence for part one and part three. You don't have preparation time at all. So even if you come up with unfamiliar questions, difficult questions, it's very important to answer spontaneously. In upcoming sessions, I'll be teaching you how you can buy the time, okay? How you can manage or how you can encounter the unfamiliar questions and all. I'll be teaching you that in further sessions. So whatever questions you deal with, it's very important. You are supposed to be very spontaneous, okay? And coherence is nothing but whatever you speak, it must have clarity, it must be logical, and it must be organized. That's very important, especially when you deal with the second part. We cannot just clutter the information here and there, okay? Whatever we speak, it must be organized. That's very important. And pronunciation, I told you, we must pronounce each and every word correctly, okay? It's very important. And try to articulate, try to intonate. Intonation is nothing but the stress pause, the false rise. Okay, those are very important. We must not be monotonous. That's very important. Okay, if you are monotonous, then it would sound so boring, right? So make sure that you intonate, you articulate. For example, if they ask you to talk about the happiest moment which happened in your life, then you are supposed to emote your feelings because you're talking something about, something related to happiness. So make sure that you articulate, make sure that you pronounce each and every word correctly, right? And the next one is grammatical range and accuracy. See, you must not make a lot of grammatical mistakes. If you do that, your marks will get reducted. Okay, so make sure that you keep an eye on grammar. And if you're not sure about certain grammatical terms or the rules, please go through the basic rules of grammar. That's very important. And then you can use a wide range of tenses, especially in cue card topics, so that the examiner can check your grammar skills. Okay. And finally, vocabulary. See, try to use various words which will showcase your vocabulary level, and avoid repetition. That's very important. See, it's not necessary that you have to come up with nearly 20 to 30 advanced words. You have to use, only the advanced words. It's not like that. Okay. See, first you have to analyze where you actually stand. Number one, the focus should be on your content, the fluency. That's very important. Okay, whether you are able to speak in a flow, whether you are able to generate ideas, that's very important. If you are able to do that very perfectly, then focus on vocabulary. Okay, in the beginning itself, don't try to focus on vocabulary. That is important, but the most important, the first and foremost thing that you have to focus on is fluency. Okay, and then avoid repeating the same information more than once. And in cue card topic, try to give an introduction to the topic. Okay, try to come up with examples, part one, part three also. What you can do is, if you feel like you are running short of ideas, what you can do is you can cook up some stories and you can come up with some examples. Okay, And also your information, what you say, it can be false, but it can be false. It may not be factual, it may not be true, but whatever you speak, it must be relevant to the context. That's very important, right? And then do not forget to use linking words or connectors. When I say connectors, I'm talking about moreover, furthermore, however, in addition to, in the same vein. I'll be provide you the list of connectors, which will be so helpful for you. And never try to provide any mugged up stuff. Okay, examiner knows about it really well, and he or she will redact your score when you provide any mugged up stuff. And you can use idioms or phrases in your expressions, but make sure that you know their usage. Okay, so probably on Wednesday or tomorrow, I'll be teaching you 10 to 12 idioms. And what I personally tell you is, it is enough to know only those idioms. Just try to make sure that you use only those idioms. That is enough. It is not necessary that you have to learn 50 to 60 idioms. That's not necessary. Make it very simple. Okay, that's very important. And then avoid criticizing or attacking any person or organization. It could be anything. Please don't come up with a lot of negative things. That's important. And then what you have to do is, you have to just share your ideas with clearly, with the usage of better vocabulary and sentence structure. And finally, please avoid suffering from anxiety or nervousness. Okay, please carry a warm smile. That's really vital thing. Okay, because there are some students in which who are so good at speaking, but during the real interview, because of this nervousness, because of this anxiety, they just scored very less. So make sure that you get rid of all these things. And that's why in the beginning, I told you, please consider this interview as a casual conversation. Okay, don't consider the examiner as a formal examiner. Try to consider the person as your friend. Okay, all you need to do is, in order to fetch high score in speaking, you are supposed to practice. That's the ultimate key. Practice, speak, record, and check on the basis of speaking criteria, the parameters: fluency, spontaneity and coherence, pronunciation, grammatical range and accuracy, and vocabulary. Okay, right. So do you have any doubts on this? Till this, is everything clear with everybody? Did you all get an idea?
Yes, ma'am.
Right, okay. What about others? It would be so good if you're all so interactive, as we are dealing with speaking session. Let's speak, okay? Please feel so comfortable. Please don't feel hesitant, okay? Right. So what are we going to do now is, we shall get started with part 1. We are just going to discuss a few questions. So first one is, what is your full name? This seems to be a very simple question, but it's all about how confidently you say your full name, right? Full name, you know very well, it's a combination of first name and the last name. So how we can tell this? My full name is Chitra Arnachalam. My name is named after an association called Citra, which is located in Coimbatore. So it is enough just to say your full name, or else if your name has got a meaning, you can add on that. And also you can accompany this answer to this question. You can say, you can call me as Chitra. I'm Chitra Arnachalam. My full name is Chitra Arnachalam, and you can call me as Chitra, as my friends and relatives too. Okay, but if you're not saying about how can I call you, then definitely the examiner will ask you this as a sub question. Okay, so you can just say, you can call me as Chitra, or else you can call me so and so, as my friends and relatives do. Make it very simple. Okay, and then could you tell me what is meant by your name? So please do some groundwork. Okay, know the meaning of your name. If this question is asked, then you have to know, right? And what is meant by your surname? Normally in India, we consider the last name as the surname. So if you have any meaning for that, make sure that You know it, please do the groundwork. And then how do people in this area get the surnames? See, this is a general question in which the examiner wanted to know how the people in this area get the surnames. Okay. See, number one is ancestral villages. Ancestral villages, inherited. Okay, I'm talking about that. And professions, sometimes through caste, and occupations. Okay, this is how the people in our area get the surnames, right? And the next question is, where do you basically come from? Where do you basically come from? If you are from a, if you're residing in a place, then you can talk about it. Or if you're there from your hometown, then you can speak about it. Okay. So where do you basically come from? You can just say, I come from so and so place. But if they ask you to talk about the native place, okay, this is very important. Definitely the examiner will ask you something about your native place, your hometown. So see, there are a lot of questions in which you have to prepare beforehand. Okay, please do some groundwork. And definitely the examiner will ask you some questions related to your native place. Okay, so what am I going to do is, I'm going to give you some cues. Okay, so please make use of it to give lengthy response. So if he or she asks you about your native place, there are certain points in which you are supposed to cover. First one, please talk about the location, geographical location. Where is it exactly located? Southern part, western part, is it surrounded by rivers, mountains, something like that? Okay. And then you can say what it is famous for, what it is known for, what it is famous for. You can talk about, the tourist places, any food, any particular things. And then you can talk about the people, how the people are there at your place. Are they friendly? Are they, do they have helping minded, that kind of nature? Are they extroverted? Are they introverted? Are they welcoming people? Are they so sociable? So try to come up with some words, okay, to describe the people in your locality, in your native place. Then about the culture, okay, multicultural society, you can mention about all those things. And you can talk about the food, yummy, delicious, scrumptious. Okay, you can talk about different cuisines. Then you can talk about the transportation facilities, okay, railways, waterways, roadways. And then you can talk about education, okay, whether at your place you have renowned colleges, universities, you can mention that. And finally, you can talk about the climate. What type of climate do people in your area enjoy? Okay, so if you cover all these cues, then definitely you'll be able to give lengthy response. Okay, see, these cues are so helpful not only when you're asked to talk about hometown. If he or she asks you about any place, definitely these cues will be so useful. So first is location, next one is what it is known for or famous for, then people, culture, food, transportation, education, and climate. Okay. And another thing is, which is very important, please do not repeat the question. For example, if they ask you, do you like yellow color? We must not say, yes, I like yellow color. Okay. Where do you basically come from? I basically come from. Don't reiterate or don't repeat the words from the question. Try to use some alternatives. See, for example, here the question is, what? Can you elaborate a bit on your native place? So my native places, instead of starting like this, what could be the alternative of native place? Probably hometown. So my hometown is, or my birthplaces, or my place of birth is. So please showcase some variations. Don't repeat the words from the question. Okay. Let me just give you a sample how you can answer for this question. This is very, very important question. Please do prepare beforehand. Do some groundwork. So I predominantly come from Coimbatore, which is in Tamil Nadu. It is also called as Manchester of South India. It is located on the banks of the Noyal River and surrounded by Western Ghats. Moreover, this city is one of the largest exporters of jewelry, wet grinders, poultry, and auto components. In addition to this, I must say, Coimbatore is also a hub of education where it has got a lot of renowned universities. Here, the people are blessed tasting the sweetest water, which is Sirwani. There are plethora of tourist destinations such as Kunnur, Vivosi Park, Vaidehi Falls, Mardamalai Temple, Sai Baba Temple. Okay, and continue talking about the climate, transportation, food. Simple as that, right? So now what are we going to do is, as today is the first class, let's everybody introduce oneself. So what I want everybody to do is just tell your name. Okay, first question, what is your full name? Then how can I call you? And then you can just talk something about 2 to 3 lines about your native place. Okay, let's get to know each other so that we feel so comfortable in upcoming sessions. Okay, here we are here to learn, to practice. So in order to motivate yourself, in order to come out of your comfort zone, this will be so helpful, right? So you yourself just say your name and then say how can you be called, then about your native place. I would like to start from Ashok. Yes, Ashok. Ashok, are you there? Okay, let me just give you 30 seconds. I want everybody to prepare and then we shall get started. Okay. Yes, Ashok, what is your full name? Ashok, are you there? As we are dealing with speaking session, I seriously request all the students to be interactive. Okay. And if you are in a situation, if you are in an environment where you cannot unmute yourself, please do drop a message so that I'll not be pestering you. And also, in turn, will not be wasting our time. Okay. So moving on to Bharat. And before Bharat start, I would like to tell you, when you deal with speaking module, if you just listen to the class, you'll not be able to make it out. Okay. It's very important to speak. Yes, Bharat.
Yes, ma'am. My name is Bharat Alapati. Alapati is my surname, and you can call me as Bharat. And my surname came after my ancestral village, which is located in Guntur district.
Right.
And about my native place, I said my native place is Guntur, and it is famous for chili production. The people in this area are so polite. That's it, ma'am.
Very good, Bharat.
Thank you.
Yeah. Moving on to Farhan. Farhan, are you here for demo class or is this your first class?
It's my first class as well as the demo class.
Okay, right. Could you please introduce yourself?
Hyderabad is one of the largest cities in India because one of the lived in Kolkata.
Farhan, your voice is very low, Farhan. Could you please talk a bit loud?
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, my name is Mohammad Farhan Ali.
Mhm.
My native place is Hyderabad. Hyderabad is one of the largest cities in India, which was founded by Muhammad Quli Qutub. It is also known as City of Pearls and City of Nizam. This is because it was founded and ruled by Nizam. And at the time of ruler, it has been an old and famous pearl market.
Right. Very good, Farhan. Good try. Moving on to Praveen. Yes, Praveen, what is your full name?
Madam, my name is Malot Praveen.
Mm-hmm.
You can call me Praveen.
Okay. Mm-hmm. What is your native place?
Sorry, madam, I don't.
Which is your native place? Which is your hometown, Praveen?
My hometown is Karimnagar district,
Mm-hmm.
Akkanapet village.
Okay. Yeah, I had a lot of students from your place. So can you just tell me what kind of place is it, Praveen? At least 2 lines about it.
Sorry, madam.
Right, Praveen. Okay, being this is the first class. See, I request everybody to feel so comfortable. Okay, because everybody is here to learn, to practice. Nobody is superior and nobody is perfect. So if you really want to fetch, why are you here to learn and to practice? You want to fetch a good score in IELTS. You want to meet the bands required. So if you're not trying, then we'll not be able to make it out. Okay. So Praveen, from tomorrow onwards, I want you to speak and I'm here to motivate you and guide you. Right?
Okay, madam, thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Please don't feel shy, everybody. Please don't feel hesitant. Please feel very comfortable. Okay. Yes, Muniza, could you please start? What is your full name? Muniza, are you there? Okay, moving on to Saranya.
Yeah. Hi, Chitra.
Hi.
Myself, my full name is Nandiala Serenya, and you can address me as Serenya. Coming to my birthplace, I'm from Nashropeta, and it is located in central part of Guntur district of Andhra Pradesh, and it is famous for spicy food.
Okay. Good try, Saranya.
Thank you.
Yeah. See, whenever you tell your full name, please don't start with myself.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Why? Because myself, we normally use this at the end of the sentence. We say, like, I did my homework by myself. Okay. So it always comes at the end of the sentence. So we cannot use myself as a subject. Okay.
Okay.
Right.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. So please do practice, everybody. Ashok and Muniza, are you there? Would you like to give a try? Right. Yes, Muniza.
Hello, are you there, ma'am?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm Muniza Begum. You can call me by Muniza. My full name is Muniza Khans. I'm from Hyderabad. Hyderabad is a very famous city. It's also called the metro city also. And I'm living in Asif Nagar side. So
Good try, Muniza.
okay, thank you.
Yeah. My humble request to everybody is when I call your name, please do, instantly unmute yourself, right? Moving on to the next question. Where are you living now? It's very simple question. So where do you actually live right now? You're supposed to say. For example, I am living in so and so. That will do, okay? The eighth one, where are you? Why are you living here? So why means what? You're supposed to state the reason. Why are you living here? Are you here? Is it because your parents settled here? Or is it because you want to pursue higher studies or for job? So make sure that you mention it very clearly, right? And then moving on to 10th question, could you tell me something about your permanent address? See, 10th question and 11th question both are similar. Could you describe your street? 10th and 11th both are similar. But the only variation is when you talk about your permanent address, you have to mention the door number. Simple as that. Okay. But when you're talking about the street, you can exclude the door number. Only that is the difference, but the content is the same. So when you're asked to talk about your street, you can talk about, first of all, you can describe what kind of street you come from. Okay, so use some describing words. For example, you can say that your street is so crowded. Okay, crowded, or else you can use the word mobbed, or else a noisy, bustling. Okay, or else you can say it's peaceful. It's up to you. Instead of peaceful, you can say tranquil. Okay, and then initially start using some describing words, and then say something about the security, how well guarded your street is, about the cameras, all that thing you can mention, and about the buildings and shops. Okay, and about the pollution, right? If it is highly polluted, then you can use the hyphenated word fume filled. Okay, fume filled. Or if it is too muddy, and if it is always crowded, you can say muddy and busy. Muddy and busy. I'm just giving you some words to describe. Please have a notepad and jot them down. Muddy and busy. And if your street is very well paved, okay, if you have very good pavements, then you can say wonderfully paved or decently paved. Okay, and if your street has got a lot of houses, okay, so you can say it's busy residential. Okay, and if your street has trees on either side of on both the side of the roads, you can say my street is beautifully tree lined. Okay, so these are the words in which you can use it. And you can also talk about the vehicular movement, peak hour. You can just say, especially during festive times, the street is too crowded for road vehicles to pass. Okay, and to begin with, you can say I live in so and so place, or reside, or dwell, or else I stay. Please don't every time repeat the words. Don't just say I live. Try to use some other words. Okay, that's very important. So this is all about the street. Just try to take a screenshot or try to jot down the points. Next. And one other thing is, when some other students talk, give the answer, speak, what everybody wants to do is make sure that you listen to it. Okay, so that definitely you'll be able to learn something from other answers as well. Okay. So could you describe your colony? See, colony is a place where we actually belong to, the locality, the neighborhood, the society. So when you're asked to talk about your colony, you can talk about the amenities, okay, the facilities that are there at your colony. Okay, and also you can say that you live in a multicultural society where you will have a very good exposure. You'll be able to learn multiple language, all those things you can say. And also you can talk about the places such as park, school, which are very near to your colony, school, banks, pharmacies. You can talk about the hospitals, bus stops, right? And the next question is all about your house. Describe your house. So first of all, please say whether you come from an apartment or whether you come from an independent house or a gated community. First mention that, okay? And then you can talk about the facilities, right? The amenities that you enjoy. And about your house, how many rooms are there in your house? And you can describe the color, the size of your rooms. Okay, you can say whether it is so spacious or not, right? And also you can talk about the front yard, backyard. Do you have lawn? Okay, simple as that. See, what I always tell my students is try to speak from your heart. Simple as that. If you speak from your heart, definitely you will feel confident. Okay, so I'm just giving you some cues in which you can make use of them to give lengthy response. So let me just give you a sample. I would like to talk about my house. Okay, see, I dwell in an independent house which has two sizable, spacious, airy bedrooms, one captivating living room, and then kitchen and dining hall. My house is properly fenced, and the most interesting part is that the picturesque, lush green lawn in the front yard. Okay, so here I have used the word picturesque, which means when you want to say something which is so beautiful and beautiful and pretty, you can use this word picturesque. Okay, so this is all about your house, and you can also talk about the colors of the room, right? Next one is, could you describe your favorite room in your house? It's all about your favorite. Okay, so please feel very comfortable to answer for this question. So favorite room in your house, you can talk about, you can very well describe your room, the color of the room, and what are the things that are present in your room. Why is your favorite, and how do you spend time in that room? Okay, for instance, and also please don't repeat from the question. Don't say my favorite room in my house is. No, not needed. You can say the room which is very close to my heart, number one. Or else you can say the best loved room, okay, or the special room or the dearest room. So try to use some other words, right? So have you all jotted down the words which I said right now? Are you all jotting down the words?
Yes, Chitra.
Right, okay, great. So yeah, how we can answer for this question? It's not necessary that you have to follow a format. I told you, speak from your heart. So it would be so nice, it would be so live. So could you describe your favorite room in your house? Yeah, yes, I actually love all the rooms in my house, but more specifically, if I want to say about my favorite, then I would like to mention about the kitchen. Whenever I feel stressed or depressed, I just go to the kitchen and I cook something innovatively. And I must say, my kitchen is well equipped with refrigerator, stove, oven, and many other things. Moreover, this has got modern cabinets which are so sleek and it is in simple design. Okay, say something about it, right? So I want any one of you, I want everybody to prepare for this. I'll just give you 30 seconds. And I want the volunteers to come forward and make use of the opportunity. And you can talk about either about your house or about your favorite room. Okay, let me just give you 30 seconds. Okay. So who would like to talk about your house or about your favorite room? Yes. Yes, Saranya, please go ahead.
Yeah, I'll give it a try, Chitra.
Yeah, please.
My house is quite large with 3 bedrooms, and it is very comfortable uh, in means of transportation and everything. And it has a big balcony, and it is uh, completely secured with fencing all the way around, so that it is safety for my kids to play.
Mhm.
And also it has a good ventilation.
Right.
That's it from my end as of now.
Okay. Saranya, I really appreciate your participation. You are just trying to generate ideas and, very slowly try to generate ideas a little quickly. Then it would be so good. Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anybody else would like to talk about your house or about your favorite room? Okay, right. We shall move on to the next question. Could you tell me about your family? This is one of the default questions, right? We have been answering from our childhood. So whenever people talk to us, they ask our name and then they ask, tell something about your family, right? So first of all, you have to say what type of family you come from. Whether you come from a small family, big family, or nuclear family, extended family, first mention this. And also you can say like how many members are there in your family. Okay, my family consists of so and so members. You can mention that. Then what you can do is you can start talking about each and every members. For example, please listen to me. Could you tell me about your family? This is the question. So here we go. I'm so blessed to have this kind of family. I actually come from a nuclear family where my mother is a dearly beloved one. She's so loving, caring, and concerned. She cooks so innovatively, and I must say she's the driving force of our family. And about my father, he's so strict enough and a person known for being punctual. Of course, he does everything for our family's well being. And if you have siblings, then you can mention that. And if you're married, you can talk about your husband, about your children. Simple as that. So, can anyone talk about your family? Yeah. Yes, we have Ashok, Bharat, Fahan, Praveen. Yes, Bharat. Why are you so inactive today?
No, ma'am, I am writing some words about my family.
Okay, right. Fine, good. So just just say about your family. Few
Okay,
words.
I am so blessed to speak about my family.
Mhm.
In my family, my mother is a homemaker. She used to prepare a lot of delicious food for us, and my father is a caretaker. He tells about what what are good and bads in the society. We are grown up by learning from my father, and I have one sister. She is very supportive to me. Um, uh, Sorry, ma'am, I didn't get.
That's okay, Bharat. Good try.
Uh, Thank you,
Yeah.
ma'am.
I really appreciate the people who try, who volunteer. When you try only, you'll be able to speak. Okay. So fine. Let's just deal with the 16th question. Could you elaborate on your childhood? So this is very simple topic in which it's very nice topic, right? Whenever we speak about our childhood, it brings smile on our face because it has got a lot of funny moments. You can talk about the summer holidays. You can talk about the activities or the games that you have played with your childhood friends. Okay. And what else about the stories that you heard from your grandparents? Okay. And the naughty things that you had done. Very simple. So you can just say that you can describe your childhood by saying that carefree, innocently confident. You can even say like this. Say, if a person asks you a question like this, could you elaborate on your childhood? Actually, I feel so happy, and of course, it always brings a smile on my face whenever I'm asked to talk about my childhood, because it has got full of magical moments. My childhood was a most amusing and memorable one. I was a pampered child in which I was completely showered with loads of love and care from my family and relatives. I really love that period because that is a period where we can do whatever we like. There were no restrictions at all. I had a lot of friends in my native during summer holidays, especially. My father used to take me to that place. I even cherish the time that I played with my friends. I actually played a lot of traditional games. It was complete fun, right? And of course, you can continue with that. So if you have observed now, I use the words like amusing, okay, pampered child, right? Pampered child with loads of love and care. So try to incorporate some words like this. Okay. Yes, who would like to talk about your childhood? Just say what are the things that you have done. And we might have had a lot of imaginations, right? When we were, when we were a child, we might have a lot of expectations, imaginations. Our goals might be so different. Yeah. Yes. Okay, fine, everybody. So today we have covered from 1 to 16 questions. And once you join, you'll be provided with the handout with all the materials. Make sure that you go through the sample answers and make sure that you prepare for these questions. Okay. So do you have any doubts in today's session? Is everything clear with everybody? Yeah.
Yes, Chitra.
Right. Okay. So fine, we shall see tomorrow.
Ma'am, I have one doubt.
Yes, Bharat, please.
Ma'am, could you describe your street when the question when that question we face? How can we start?
I live, I dwell. I told you, right?
Okay, ma'am.
You can just say, I dwell in VOC Street, which is there in Pilamedo, Coimbatore. And it is so crowded place. You can just start like that. Right, Saran? Right, Bharat?
Thank you. Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. Right. So fine, everybody. Take care. Have a great day. Please do practice. Yeah. Bye all.
Bye, ma'am.